Surprise, motherfucker. What's up? Venger Satanis. I'm not driving. I'm just in a parking lot. And I was just listening to Grim Jim's latest video. I will put a link to that in the description below. I just wanted to address some things. I think I like Grim. I think his heart's in the right place. But we have, radically different ideas on things like politics and, everything that stems from that, which is quite a bit. Okay, let's just get into it. I wrote some notes down as I was listening to his video on my way to where I was going. So, okay, he made the sort of equivalency or opposite ends of the spectrum of egalitarianism and totalitarianism. But what I don't think he understands, how I understand it, what I think a lot of people would agree with me, is that totalitarianism stems from egalitarianism, because egalitarianism isn't real. It's not a real, natural, organic state. It has to be artificially created. And the way to artificially create it is through authoritarianism. Egalitarianism is the enemy of meritocracy. And I just imagine a society where you didn't have anyone that was, stupid, lazy, evil, corrupt, etc. If everybody was the same, then everybody would have an equal chance, to rise up. But not everybody is equal. And so people don't deserve equal outcomes all the way across the board. That's just a fact of life. Part of what the left does is it either flies in the face of or just flat out denies reality, objective reality. And that's kind of its downfall. Like Grimm, its heart is in the right place, but it just doesn't add up. It's like, all these social programs and the things like that he's talking about. It's like giving a man a fish rather than to teach him to fish for himself. So you might help him out that afternoon, that day, but what about a couple weeks, a couple months, a couple years from now? Unless you're going to continue to give people money for nothing, basically you're just burning your economy. He said something about populism and how the new rights, populist ideas and policies haven't delivered. Well, I can tell you in America, we had an incredibly short 4 years where our president was every single hour of every single day harassed and lied about and gone after with everything they could throw at him. They wanted to impeach him before he even took office. And then there was the whole Russia hoax and everything else, and he never had a fair shot. He had basically half a term, is in essence. He had half of as much energy and time and cooperation that a normal president would have. And then he got cheated out of another 4 years. I'm not going to get into that, but that's a thing. So to decry populism this time around, because it hasn't done enough, hasn't reached its zenith of results, that's not fair to say, because it barely got a shot. And what we did get was very welcome, very much needed. Oh, and then the fucking pandemic. Yeah, and that, like, you know, crushed the last year of Trump's presidency. And, you know, what can you do then? I mean, one hand's tied behind your back. But I think populism, in the end, is not only the right way to go, but will achieve massive results starting, I hope, at the end of this year and continue on in 2024 and just like getting bigger and better from there on out. What else? Oh, the whole conspiracy stuff. Some of that conspiracy stuff, just like some of the slippery slope arguments, are absolutely correct. There is an agenda out there to, if not try to trans everybody, to normalize that, to normalize the rejection of objective reality. And it is incredibly dangerous to society and the culture. We're lucky if the whole Western civilization just doesn't fall apart in the next year. Assuming there was no pushback. It could. Once you just decide that words don't mean anything, or they have alternate meanings depending on your political agenda, you've pretty much lost the game. You're living in a fantasy world, and it's just a matter of time before fantasy and reality collide, and fantasy loses. Eventually, reality will win out. That's just, doesn't matter how regressive or how you've like crammed down your opinions and just like squashed any kind of individualism or rebellion or free thinking. Eventually people will rise up and defeat totalitarianism, authoritarianism, and it's just a matter of time. Sometimes it takes hundreds of years. Sometimes it takes days. It just depends. On a society like America, I see us we're already bouncing back. But I think in 2023, in 2024, you're going to see, as I've said many times before, a complete paradigm shift. This pendulum is going to swing the other way. And yeah. Okay, I think that's enough. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Watch Grim Jim's video if you want. Maybe you'll agree with me. Maybe you'll agree with him. Maybe we'll get some good discussion out of this. And we'll make our way out somehow. All right. Have a good weekend. That's it for me.